What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Now, in a world as wacky as wrestling, there's always something new going on. So join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including the real reason why Cesaro was never pushed, Raw's ratings are worse than ever, WWE responds to an employee complaint, Vince McMahon getting sued again, and AEW wrestler quarantines themselves, Rob Gronkowski is leaving WWE, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. But let's waste no further time and get straight into the first bit of news as we look at the real reason why Cesaro was never pushed. Now, the Swiss Superman joined the WWE all the way back in 2011 and was propelled immediately, winning the United States Championship in just a few months from Santino Marella. He later enjoyed success with Sheamus as tag team champions, but even with an alliance with Paul Heyman, WWE just never gave Cesaro a chance in the main event or a championship run, despite him having the look, the charisma, and wrestling ability. Now, there hadn't been any solid reason why WWE just never pushed him, apart from Vince McMahon's mercurial mindset hindering him. However, WWE legend and former booker Arn Anderson may have revealed why. Now, even though he may possess the impressive attributes of a wrestler, he's not favourable with WWE management. Anderson said, "He was probably outspoken, probably stood up for himself, which is not taken lightly or very well. This is a guy who did a giant swing on the Great Khali, for God's sake. Had it not been for Big Show having a bad knee or a bad hip, I can't remember which, he had the wherewithal to giant swing Big Show. His hip being bad is the only thing that prevented it." He went on to say, "He's not a favourite guy, as you know, of front office, for whatever reason that is. They're the only ones that know because everyone else across the planet seems to think he's a superstar. But he continued to get leaned on to stop doing all that stuff, impressive moves as a heel. It was just too flashy and all that. It's such a shame, and this is the problem with WWE. They see one thing that has zero bearing on viewership or sales and completely eliminate that person from getting a push. Hopefully one day, they'll change their minds." Next up, Raw's ratings worse than ever. Now, the ratings are in for the 20th April Raw and they've dropped again. PW Insider's Dave Shearer is reporting that the 20th April edition of Raw brought in 1,842,000 viewers overnight, down from last week's 1,913,000 overnight viewers. They did a 0.56 in the 18 to 49 demo, they usually do 0.20 higher than that. Looking at the ratings, between hour 1 and 2, WWE lost over 120,000 viewers. Now, the WWE's Performance Center shows have been faring poorly in the ratings, and it appears the WWE is hanging on to the die-hard fans, but even they are losing interest. Dave Meltzer had some interesting observations about this week's ratings, saying, "Raw dropped 4% from last week in total viewers to 1.84 million on average, setting another record low for a non-holiday show. The first to third hour drop of 11% is better than usual, so they are doing a better job of keeping viewers who do tune in." Raw placed first in the 18 to 49 demo at 0.56, a number identical to last week. Raw was 27th overall, but finished behind only 90 Day Finance on TLC with 1.85 million viewers among non-news shows. The good news, of course, is that Raw scored well in the demographics. As for Raw keeping more of its audience, that is likely a reflection that the show is being watched by die-hard fans who will just stay tuned for just about anything. Although it's worth mentioning that this week's third hour lost 11% of the first hour audience compared to last week losing 8%. As we've discussed in our Raw ratings, it's unclear whether there's much the WWE can do to improve its Performance Center shows, as fans are resisting to watch empty arena events. As we noted, the WWE may be better off using this time to build new stars to see if anyone resonates with the audience. Next up, an XFL commissioner sues Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon is being sued by former XFL Commissioner Oliver Luck, with The Athletic reporting Luck is suing for an unspecified amount, alleging wrongful termination. According to Ringside News, Vince McMahon hired Luck in 2018 and promised him $20 to $25 million over the course of a number of years. Those years didn't last as long as expected, as the XFL met an early demise in 2020 due to COVID-19. Luck's contract said he would be paid in full if he was terminated without cause. The XFL has turned into a major headache for Vinnie Mac, and this lawsuit could make it costlier than the original XFL. We'll certainly keep you updated as this case progresses, as it could have ramifications for both Vince McMahon and WWE shareholders' confidence in him. Dave Meltzer has already commented that Vince's reputation has been hurt due to this whole bankruptcy issue, as people involved know Vince is worth millions of dollars and had earmarked $300 million for the league. They also know that he hasn't spent $300 million on the league just yet. Meltzer noted that there was a feeling of Vince essentially screwing people he worked with on the league, including coaches and stadiums. So is there any wonder why Vince has some hit back? Next up, WWE responds to employee complaint about unsafe work environment. As reported earlier, WWE employee reportedly sent a complaint to Orange County officials claiming that the promotion is forcing employees to work in unsafe work conditions due to the ongoing health crisis. The WWE quickly responded, issuing the following statement: "These accusations aren't true. Employees know they can confidentially go to human resources, not the public. Notwithstanding the appropriate protocol, no one would be fired if they were uncomfortable with their surroundings. We've made accommodations for individuals upon request." Wrestling Insider WrestleVotes also tweeted regarding these suspected employee complaint rumors, from a direct source in the know, exact quote, "They have not forced anyone to work during this time." So is there any truth to these allegations, and if so, would the WWE make accommodations? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, did the Revival steal their new team name from another tag team? The former WWE tag team The Revival are apparently going by a new team name, The Revolt. While the name sounds cool and appears to be a lawyer-friendly version of The Revival, it may have already been in use. PW Insiders reporting that indie wrestlers Caleb Conley and Zane Riley have been performing in North Carolina as the Revolt. There have absolutely been some in the North Carolina wrestling scene upset about the usage of the name, since Conley and Riley have invested in using and merchandising the Revolt name for some time, and since the Revival are from the Carolinas, it's been taken as a personal affront that one of their own did this to working independent talents. Now working as Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, the former Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder may have to work out some sort of arrangement with the team or find a new name for their team. What do you think Harwood and Wheeler should do? Next up, an AEW star entering quarantine. It looks like AEW could resume taping more shows, which means at least one star who missed out on the first batch of tapings wants in. According to Wrestling Observer Figure 4 Online, AEW may be taping again in a few weeks, with both Florida and Georgia opening up. At least one talent that had not appeared at the last set of tapings is going into quarantine for 2 weeks to get ready to return. While the wrestler's identity is a mystery, it shows the safeguards promotions must take to protect other wrestlers from getting sick. Do you think there should be wrestling going on while the health crisis continues? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, 24/7 champion Rob Gronkowski is returning to the NFL. Current 24/7 champion Rob Gronkowski is returning to professional football, with CNN reporting that tight end Rob Gronkowski, who is currently retired from the New England Patriots, has agreed to return to the NFL as member of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as part of a trade, according to Gronkowski's agent. Pending the physical, Rob has agreed to play for Tampa this season, agent Drew Rosenhaus told CNN. He will honor his current contract at this time. Gronkowski has 1 year left on his current contract, which is worth $10 million. ESPN's Adam Schefter and NFL Network's Ian Rappaport both report that the terms of the proposed trade will see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get Rob Gronkowski and a 7th round pick from the Patriots in exchange for 4th round pick from the Buccaneers. Rob had announced that he was training to become a WWE superstar and appeared as the special guest host for WrestleMania 36, winning the 24/7 championship during the event. How the WWE plans on getting the belt off him remains to be seen, but as several pundits noted, Gronkowski likely would need more time to train before he could enter the ring, so he would not have appeared much for some time. At age 30, there's plenty of time for Gronk to return to wrestling when he finishes football, and the WWE would likely welcome him back given his stardom on the gridiron. Next up, 1 tweet and 100,000 followed. How did the WWE do it? The WWE Hacker storyline is one of the more interesting storylines on SmackDown, with fans wondering who is leaking damaging information on the Blue brand. Apparently, fans are also curious how the hacker's Twitter account racked up 100,000 followers despite only posting 1 tweet. WrestleTalk's Brian Joyce broke the code, revealing, well, it turns out the account is actually an old repurposed WWE Twitter account. Specifically, it is the old stand-up for the WWE campaign Twitter. For those of you who may not remember, WWE launched a campaign to coincide with Linda McMahon's election campaign in 2010. As WWE was not portrayed well by the media, they started a campaign for fans to show their support for the company. And check out our recent news video for a possible solution to the hacker's identity. Next up, WWE didn't want Dolph Ziggler using the Superkick. Dolph Ziggler has come a long way since his time in the Spirit Squad, but at one point in his career, the WWE didn't want him using the Superkick. Former WWE producer Arn Anderson recently discussed on his podcast, Dolph had an opinion for the longest time 10 years ago. It was the fact that Dolph, who throws a hell of a Superkick, the office did not want him using the Superkick because that was Shawn's finish, but Shawn was retired. Shawn was gone. You can't retire moves. Ziggler has a fantastic Superkick, and despite the WWE's erratic booking of him, he remains to be one of the company's top workers. Next up, Luke Gallows headed to Impact Wrestling. Now that they've been released from WWE, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson are two of the hottest free agents in wrestling. Both men have teased going to work either in singles action or by continuing their tag team. Recently, however, Gallows hinted at a return to Impact Wrestling. You may recall he worked there following his run in the WWE as a member of CM Punk's Straight Edge Society. Doc Gallows tweeted a picture of himself from the run in Impact as a member of the Aces and Eights faction. And finally, the Return of Los Matadores. Last but not least, Primo and Epico Cologne worked as Los Matadores in WWE, and now that they've been released, it appears they're donning their masks once again. Ringside News reports that the duo are scheduled for the 3rd October Rack Attack promotion show. The talented cousins also work with little man El Torito, but there's no word if he's returning as part of the act. But there you have it guys, the wildest wrestling news and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.